response.
As we peer into society's future, we, you and I, and our government, must avoid the impulse to live only for today, plundering for our own ease and convenience the precious resources of tomorrow. We cannot mortgage the material assets of our grandchildren without risking the loss also of their political and spiritual heritage. We want democracy to survive for all generations to come, not to become the insolvent phantom of tomorrow.
Usually, history zigs and zags and goes up and down. And there are times of conflict, and there are times of stupidity, and there are times of danger. And progress is slow and it's hard. And I guess the main message I have for all of you, which is we talk a lot about with our leaders, is do not get discouraged because you don't fix everything all at once.
We should remember that we are exactly starting the 250th anniversary of the American Revolution with the battles of Lexington and Concord that happened 250 years ago. This is a country born in violence with the American Revolution, and a hugely violent, unbelievably terrible war. And if you are a citizen in New Jersey and South Carolina during this war, you are going to be upended or threatened with violence or actually had violence upon you. So we have had a checkered history. We have also not given freedom to many Americans throughout our past. But we have gotten better. It is better to be a woman today than it was 75 years ago, 100 years ago when women didn't have the vote. Remember that 100 years ago, black Americans were being lynched regularly in the American South, and it wasn't a democracy.
Strictly speaking, we didn't really even live in a democracy until 1965 in the Voting Rights Act, when a large portion of Americans were finally able to vote, black men and women.
You can count on Americans, as Winston Churchill once said, to do the right thing after they've exhausted all other options.
In some sense, we can't know what the right direction is until sort of we have the perspective of history. And even then, it's up for debate. It's up for debate right now, right? What is our tradition? What is our history? How should we understand ourselves? So those zigs and zags are part of the sort of ongoing effort to think and rethink about who we are. And you can only tell from some kind of distance. And it's not even up to individual historians or historians generally. It has to be up to all of us. And again, back to the 1780s and 90s, early Americans thought and were explicit that in some sense what mattered was what posterity thought, what our progeny think. 3 generations from now, what will our great-grandchildren think of what we're doing and what we've done?
Can you feel good about the future? Do you know what's going to happen coming into the future? Well, we historians have a perfect track record of predicting the future. We're always wrong. Always wrong. So the idea that you can predict the future with a million zillion different independent variables, you can't do it. And that's why it feels so stressful to all of us right now, is because we can't predict the future. We don't know what's going to happen. And if you were thinking about you living in the Cold War, and you're worried, I remember doing duck and cover because we were worried about nuclear weapons falling on our head. How stressful was that? Incredibly stressful. During World War II, after Pearl Harbor, we had no idea that we were going to win World War II or even how many people were going to die doing it. Then the Civil War several times came close to the good guys, the United States and the United States Army, losing that war. You don't know what's going to happen. And that's why life is stressful, because we can't predict it. So I wish I could say we know it's going to come out all right, but I can't say that. That's why I think what President Obama was saying is that all citizens have to act like citizens and vote and make your voice heard is so important, because it could turn out differently.
As I looked out a moment ago from the Reichstag, that embodiment of German unity, I noticed words crudely spray-painted upon the wall, perhaps by a young Berliner. Quote, "This wall will fall, beliefs become reality." Yes, across Europe this wall will fall, for it cannot withstand faith. It cannot withstand truth. The wall cannot withstand freedom.
Understanding that if you work hard, you're still going to fail sometimes. If you do the right thing, it's not always going to be rewarded. You're going to be disappointed. People are imperfect. But it's worth trying. And if you try, not only do you usually end up getting better outcomes, but you're going to live a better life. You're going to feel better about yourself. And you're going to find fellow travelers who share those values. And that's as important as any of it.
You don't sit down and watch a football game or a soccer game knowing what the conclusion is, but you're still passionately cheering along your team, and I think that's where we are. Like, we don't know where we're going to be. We don't know what victory looks like, but like, we have to recognize that we are a team and that we need to compete, and it's a long game. He said to our students, change doesn't happen tomorrow. You have to be patient. Sometimes it's one step forward and 2 steps back, or ideally 2 steps forward and 1 step back. I think from Obama always emanates a sense of hope, and so even as he was very serious about the challenges to democratic norms, and again, he wasn't laying that at the footsteps of just the current administration. I mean, he was talking about a larger thing happening in American politics and society, where we've lost trust in our institutions, we have lost patience with one another. I think he was asking us to get beyond this moment and really start to work on rebuilding, recrafting, reimagining this democracy.
So, yeah, don't get discouraged. I know it's a little crazy right now, but we're going to be okay.
Your hope? Your hope continues to inspire, and can we give President Obama a big round of applause for joining us at the most important liberal arts college in the world?